back to another Freaky Friday. So today's video I'm going to be doing the 9 murders of hypnotists. So like these are like 9 murders under hypnosis and like hypnotists and stuff. So yeah. And then I'm going to be doing a hypnotist makeup look inspired by this lovely lady right here. So let's get started. So I'm going to first start off by doing my everyday base makeup. So I will end up speeding through that, so I'm just going to explain the products I'm using. So I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. And then I'll be going in with the Makeup Revolution. Then I'll be going with the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Foundation. Then I'll be going in with the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I'll be going in with my Coty Airspun Loose Setting Powder. And then I'll be going in with my Milani Baked Bronzer. I'll be doing that and being right back. Okay, so now that I finished my base makeup, I did one eye off camera. I added a bit of my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlight in Blossom Glow and a little bit of my Wet n Wild Color Icon blush, and I used this in Pearlescent Pink. So for the eyes, I just did a wing, put a little bit of a black line over top of my lid, did the drips, made a different inner corner, and added my lashes from my lash brand, and I used the lashes in style Lizzie. And yeah, so let's get started on to the talking and the other eye. So I'm going to be talking about the 9 different deaths that were caused by hypnosis, and they're a little bit strange, so yeah. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is the murder of Thomas Patton. So in 1984, a wealthy farmer, Anderson Gray, who lived near Sumner County, Kansas, was embroiled in a lawsuit. One of the witnesses in the case was his neighbor, Thomas Patton. To explain a little bit and then start on the eye. In 1984, a wealthy farmer, Anderson Gray, who lived near Sumner County, Kansas, was embroiled in a lawsuit. One of the witnesses in the case was his neighbor, Thomas Patton. Wanting to permanently silence Patton, Gray went to the living quarters of his farmhand, Thomas McDonald, on May 5th. Gray told McDonald that Patton was spreading rumors about McDonald's wife, which provoked arguments between McDonald and Patton. Said that provoked an argument between McDonald and Patton. So after the argument, McDonald returned home. Gray visited McDonald again and apparently hypnotized him, warning that McDonald had to kill Patton. So warning that McDonald had to kill Patton, or Patton would kill him first. McDonald tried to protest, but Gray's hypnotic influence was too strong. Gray was also able to hypnotize McDonald into having the perfect aim with a rifle when he had been a terrible shot before the hypnosis. Scary. So Gray then told McDonald where Patton would be riding in the woods. Gray induced trance. McDonald waited for Patton to ride by, and then he shot him in the heart with the rifle. Both Gray and McDonald were arrested. Gray was tried first, and he was found guilty and sentenced to hang. McDonald, who fully admitted to pulling the trigger, was found not guilty because he was under Gray's trance. So that is the first murder. That is the murder of Thomas Patton. It's kind of scary what a hypnotist can do. I don't know if this was a true story. It says it is, but obviously I was not there. So the second one is the death of Gerard Rosenblum. In 1952, 21-year-old Gerard Rosenblum was studying for a master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. On October 2nd, his mother walked down into the basement and found him hanging from a joist. His death was immediately ruled a suicide. It's sad. A month later, Rosenblum's death was brought to a coroner's jury. There, a lawyer for the Rosenblum family presented evidence that the young man's death was not a suicide, but instead a failed attempt at suspended animation through self-hypnosis. Here I'm just taking my Snazaroo Clown Weight face paint and I'm just highlighting the drips. According to his mother, Rosenblum had always been fascinated by hypnotists and hypnosis, and especially the idea of levitating himself. The lawyer argued that Rosenblum's death was an accidental hanging while trying to levitate under hypnosis. The coroner's jury agreed, ruling that he died as the result of hypnotic research. So that one isn't really like a hypnotist murdered him. It's more of he wanted to be a hypnotist. He was trying to use hypnotic stuff to levitate him. So, kind of works as one of these stories. The next one is the death of Sharon Tabarn. September 1993, 24-year-old Sharon Tabarn went to see a hypnotist, Andrew Vincent, at a pub in Leyland, Lancashire, England. Hopefully I said that right. I look really weird right now, don't I? I'm just taking the Snazaroo White face paint and I'm just making my inner corners larger. Longer? Larger? Yeah. She went to see a hypnotist in a pub. So, to wake her from her trance, Vincent told her that she would feel a 10,000 volt electric shock in her seat. She awoke with the shock and left the pub. All fine. On the way home, Tabarn complained that she felt dizzy. Hours later, she choked her own vomit in bed and died. Tabarn was a healthy woman who was 2 weeks shy of her 25th birthday. Oh, that's sad. She had been drinking that night, but not an amount that would cause her to choke on her own vomit. Tabarn's death was ruled an accident. Tabarn's mother blamed the hypnotist's show. Her lawyer argued that the hypnotist somehow relaxed Tabarn's gag reflex, which led her to choking. Tabarn's mother also said that her daughter was terrified of getting electrocuted, and that could have contributed to her death. She called for a ban on public hypnosis shows, and it was discussed by Britain ministers, but nothing ever came of it. That'd be so sad, going to see a hypnotist at a show and putting mascara on. I'm using the e.l.f. lash extending mascara. If you're going to see a hypnotist show and ended up dying because you wanted to see what it'd be like to be hypnotized, ones where people are still clucking like a chicken when every time you say Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know. Okay, so the next one is the death of Robert Simpson. On the evening of November 8, 1909, 35-year-old Robert Simpson attended a show by a hypnotist, Professor Arthur Everton, in Somerville, New Jersey. So now I'm going to explain a little bit of the makeup, and then I'll get back onto that story. So Grace Kathleen did this makeup look. I don't know if I already said her name or not, so I'm going to say it now. Grace Kathleen did this in the first place. So now I'm just going to draw in the two eyes and my nose, and I'm going to do that in speed and then get back on to tell the rest of the story. Okay, so I filled in the two eyes and a little bit of the nose. So now I'm going to go in with the black from the Mayron palette. That is what I used to do the drips. So then I'm back with the black to outline the eyes and make them hypnotic, the mouth, and the nose. Simpson, who was drunk at the time, that's not good, volunteered to be hypnotized, and Everton put him into a cataleptic state on stage. Once Simpson was in a trance, Everton showed a large audience that Simpson was definitely out by placing Simpson's feet on a chair and his head on another. Then Everton stood on Simpson's stomach. Ow. That would hurt. Cute little button nose. The problem came when it was time to wake Simpson. He collapsed and lay unresponsive on the floor. Doctors attended to him, but he was dead. At his autopsy, it was revealed that he had died of a ruptured aorta. The doctor also said that Simpson probably had been sick for some time. Jeez. Tim was arrested and charged with manslaughter. To earn money for his legal fees, he continued to perform hypnotic shows without further incidents. It was believed that Everton would be adequated because Simpson had probably died of a pre-existing heart condition. He stood on the man's stomach. Whatever. I don't get it. There's other ways to show that they're out. There's plenty of other ways that he could have done that. I quickly did the eyes, and I did the little hypnotist circle thing so that they can look like they're under the influence of a hypnotic influence. That was a lot harder than it should have been. So now we're going to be talking about the murder of Jerome Ferrari. Jerome. His name is Jerome. On October 26, 1948, 26-year-old Jerome Ferrari, whatever, brought a young woman back to his house that he shared with his wife, Betty. He brought a young woman to go back to his house with his wife, because that's going to end well. Betty was not impressed, and she chased the two of them out of the house. What did I tell you? Later, Jerome returned and attacked Betty. That took a turn. Was not expecting that. Charles Fossey, who was renting a room, grabbed a shotgun and handed it to the Manson's handyman, Alan Adron. So Fossey told Adrian that Jerome is attacking Betty and is going to kill her. So Adrian shot Jerome twice before the gun stopped shooting, and then beat him with the gun until Betty took the gun, but the gun was still jammed when she tried to shoot it. Before shooting, he heard all the screams of them fighting in the kitchen. Then he shot. Betty picked up a meat cleaver and whacked her husband on the head 23 times. Rough. Fossey and Adrian were arrested. Adrian confessed to the crime, initially pled guilty to the second-degree murder, and even testified as a witness for the prosecution at Betty and Fossey's trial. However, co-defendants Betty and Betty and Fossey were acquitted, and because they testified that Jerome Ferrari was a violent man and Betty was scared for her life. When Adrian went before a judge for sentencing, the court was asked to consider a second plea of not guilty. He kind of shot the guy. They considered a second plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Defense psychiatrists argued that Adrian wasn't responsible for the murders because he had been hypnotized into shooting Jerome. According to the psychiatrist, Adrian was placed in a trance by a power of suggestions when the gun was put in his hands, and he heard Betty's screams. Supposedly, this caused Adrian to shoot Jerome. As a result, Adrian was found not guilty by reason of insanity at the time of the murder. However, he didn't have to go to the psychiatric hospital because he was considered to be sane after the shooting. Who's sane after shooting somebody? The murder of Augustin Goff, whatever, in Paris on July 26, 1886. Wow. So, Augustin Goff, a successful businessman known for his sexual adventures. Bumped into an acquaintance, Mitchell Erad. Erad said that he had broken up with his girlfriend, Gabrielle Bompard, and that she wanted to see Goff. Eagerly, Goff made his way to the young girl's apartment as Goff seduced Bompard. Erad slipped a noose around Goff's neck and strangled him. After looting the body, co-conspirators Erad and Bompard put the body in the trunk and dumped it 500 kilometers away from Paris. So now I'm taking the black from the Maro palette that I just used to make the drips, and I'm going to put the cross on my nose bridge. I'm again taking the Maro palette, and I'm just going to do the lines and then again the drips. Unfortunately for Erad, witnesses had seen him talking him to Goff before his disappearance. Erad became a wanted man but fled before the authorities nabbed him. On January 22nd, 1890, Bompard turned herself in, claiming that she was innocent of the murder because she had been hypnotized by Erad into doing this will. In May 1890, Erad was arrested in Cuba and extracted to Paris. The summer Bompard and Gerard went to the trial. It was one of the first times that the power of suggestion through hypnosis was used as a defense. The sensational trial made headlines in Europe and America. In the end, Bompard received 20 years in prison, and Gerard was publicly executed by guillotine on February 4th, 1891. Don't murder people. So the next one is the death of Marie Columbus. Columbus? I don't know. In 1938, a pregnant 23-year-old named Marie Columbus was worried about having her baby in the traditional manner. Interested in giving birth under hypnosis, she contacted Robert Gilbert, aka the Great Gilbert, a 20-year-old veteran of vaudeville who specialized in hypnotism. According to the local newspapers, Gilbert had just recently helped a woman give birth painlessly through hypnosis. Agreeing to meet with Columbus, Gilbert went to her house in Glendale, California on June 30th for a practice session. At some point, the police were called. When they arrived at the house, they found Columbus dead on the couch. Her arms were folded over her chest, and she had a faint smile. Gilbert claimed that he hadn't done anything to Columbus and that she had simply collapsed on the floor. He said that he had placed her on the couch afterward. If somebody dies, leave them where they are. Don't touch them. Gilbert was arrested and an autopsy was performed on Columbus, but no cause of death was found. She was buried exhumed unburied, and autopsied again. Still, there was no conclusion as to what killed the expectant mother. Gilbert went to the trial and claimed that his hypnosis was not dangerous, yet he was found guilty and given 2 to 5 years in prison. Eventually, his conviction was overturned due to the lack of evidence. Scary. I'm going to go in with the Snazareo White and do the highlights on the drips. And now we're going to be talking about the murder of Hans Wisbom and Kaj Mahler. So in Copenhagen, what is with me in English? On March 29th, 1951, Pale Witchman Hardrup, 33, walked into a bank, pulled out a gun, and demanded money. Bank heist. When it wasn't turned over, he shot the bank manager, Hans Wisbom, and the teller, Kaj Mahler, killing them both. When Hardrup was arrested, he claimed that the murders and attempted robbery weren't his fault because he had been hypnotized earlier in prison. By his 39-year-old cellmate, Bjorn Skarnails, I don't even know. 3 times a week over a 3-month period, Nelson supposedly hypnotized Hardrup and run him through the steps of robbery. Nelson was arrested for planning the robberies and pushing Hardrup to shoot the 2 bank employees. After both men were tried, Hardrup was committed to a mental institute, and Nelson was given life imprisonment. Both were released after 18 years. I guess life imprisonment isn't really life, it's only 18 years. Maybe like childhood life. So now I'm just going to be doing some of the makeup just to get caught up because we are on to the last story. Now I'm just going to be doing some of these eyes around my neck and the big drips around. So this is the final look of the hypnotist look. Turned out really cool, kind of creepy, clown vibes. So now I'm going to read the last story of the murders. Death of Marcus Freeman and Wesley McKinley and Brittany Palumbo. In spring 2011, Northport High School in Northport, Florida had a disturbing number of students die in a short time. First was Marcus Freeman, the school's 16-year-old quarterback who died in a car accident on March 15th, according to his girlfriend. He got a strange look on his face and drove off the road. Then there was Wesley McKinley, 16, who was found hanged to death outside his home on April 8, 2011. The final victim, 17-year-old Brittany Palumbo, was found hanging in her bedroom closet, May 2011. The day after Wesley's death, George Kenny, the school principal, told the police that these three students were some of the 75 students and staff that he had previously hypnotized. He taught Marcus how to hypnotize himself so that he could focus better during football, to help Wesley get into Juilliard School of the Arts, and Kenny to hypnotize the young guitar player the day before he hanged himself. Kenny had also hypnotized Brittany to help her with her test anxiety. When her marks didn't improve after the months, she killed herself. After being put on administrative leave, Kenny resigned in June 2012. He would be given a year's probation for practicing therapeutic hypnosis without a license. The school board settled with the families of the students, giving each family $200,000. So that is it. That is the 9 stories of these deaths under hypnosis. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for coming back to this Freaky Friday. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what other Freaky Fridays you'd like to see, or if you've ever been under hypnosis or know anybody that's been under hypnosis. Please give this video a like, comment, and share. And please subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. And if you'd like to follow me on my other social medias, my Instagram is mbk_beauty_, and my TikTok is mbk_beauty. Thanks for watching. Bye.